Video bandwidth and distribution of Talking Scuba is provided by Blip TV, the next generation television network for independent shows. Do your part by donating today by visiting TalkingScuba.com. Jill Heinerth is one of the industry's most acclaimed cave and closed-circuit rebreather divers. She's got a resume a mile long, including everything from National Geographic's Skin Diver magazine, and she's even got some major motion pictures like The Cave and the new James Cameron movie, The Sanctum. Jill, thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, nice to join you.
Now, you're originally from Canada, right?
I sure am, from the Toronto area.
Oh, okay. And now you're living down in Florida?
Yeah, once I discovered that warmer water, it was kind of tempting.
Oh, you big baby.
Yeah, I still do lots of cold water stuff. I still love the Great Lakes.
Oh, yeah. Now, you get to do a lot of cave diving down there, obviously living in northern Florida. That's a great place to practice and train with all your cave diving stuff, right?
Yeah, I live across the street from Ginny Spring. So I get up in the morning, ride my bike to the spring, do some laps in the spring run, and enjoy it even before the sun's coming up.
Oh, that's nice. Now, how did you get interested in cave diving and then in caves in general?
I cut my teeth on wreck diving. That was really my first passion in life. But I was always interested in caving. And so when I had some of my early experiences being able to move three-dimensionally through caves just by inhaling instead of climbing, it was like you couldn't stop me after that.
Oh, that's cool. Now, now you've also got into some of the closed-circuit rebreather diving. You're into that pretty heavy now, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for quite a while now. My first closed-circuit electronic rebreather was the Cislunar Mark V, and back in, I guess, 96 was when I really got that rolling. And it's just such an incredible tool for exploration and science. It's fantastic.
So what type of equipment are you diving now?
These days, my favorite's really the Sentinel rebreather from VR Technology. It's a real paradigm shifter with a CO2 monitor and lots of other new features. It's a pretty exciting rig.
And you got into also side mount and stuff like that as well, and some of the original stuff working with side mounts?
Yeah. My first cave dive was actually on side mount, even before I really had any experience with manifolded doubles. So to me, it's a much more natural way to carry two tanks. Yeah,
I know up here we're starting to get into some of that with recreational diving, as well as some of the wreck diving. People are starting to use that. There's still kind of the old school fighting against it, but we've really come to like the side mount. It's a lot of fun way to a real fun way to dive.
It's great, and it translates to every form of diving. And so, with your rebreather, you sling your bailout bottles the same way, and it works out really well.
Now, the first time I became familiar with your work was actually on the Water's Journey, the Hidden Rivers of Florida. You worked with Wes Skiles. I love that documentary series. Now you worked quite a bit with Wes, correct?
Yeah, yeah. We worked together for more than a decade on documentary films and other television projects and even Hollywood stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. For those not familiar with Wes Skiles, he was a legend in cave diving and pioneering and exploring all sorts of things, as well as an amazing photographer and videographer. He was just recently on the cover of National Geographic magazine at the tragic time of his death. So that was a real hit to the diving community in general, and what an amazing and talented individual he was.
Oh yeah, he leaves an amazing hole in our community. It's far beyond his beautiful imagery. He was an incredible advocate for springs and freshwater resources as well. So his conservation work will definitely live on.
Yeah. Now, could you tell us a little bit about that Water's Journey project that you worked with him on?
Yeah, you bet. We actually conceived of the project as a way to bring adventure and fun and entertainment to conservation and educational material. And we decided we would follow a drop of water through the environment no matter where it went. And so the first episode, Hidden Rivers of Florida, I guess, I think I became like forever famous for the scene where I swim underneath the salad bar of a Sonny's barbecue restaurant and West tracks from above. But in our, further episodes, we travel through the stormwater systems, sewer systems underneath major cities. We did the entire extent of the Florida Everglades watershed. So it was really a fun series to work on.
Yeah, just to watch it was just a riot. And that was actually around the time I was getting into diving real serious. So to see stuff like that was a real inspiration. I think that was one of the best documentary series I've ever seen. It was really incredible.
Thank you.
Now, yourself being a legend in the sport, you've probably had some struggles as well, topside as well as below. Now, how did you get entered into a sport that, is so traditionally dominated by men?
Yeah, since I was a little kid, I always wanted to be a diver. I grew up watching the Apollo missions as a child, and I didn't really see a way forward for being an astronaut as a young Canadian girl. So the aquanaut was the next best bet.
It's worked out well for you.
Yeah, but sure, when I started diving, women were really the rarity on a boat.
Right.
And well, in some cases still are much fewer than the male population. So there were definitely some struggles as I moved along quickly into kind of leadership roles, but it's worked out just fine for me.
Well, good. Now beyond a lot of your documentary work and stuff, as you've also authored several books and worked on different projects with that. Now, how did you get into the photography and stuff? I know you've written a book on that as well.
Yeah, my background in school is fine arts, visual communications design, and photography. So that was my university education. And my first job in life after school was starting a small graphic design company. And so as much as I love that job and love the creative aspects, I was like locked up between four walls. And every night and every weekend I was off diving and teaching Scuba. And I thought there has to be a way to combine these two loves and create a hybrid career that embraces both. So it took me a while to figure it out, but that's what I've managed to do. Obviously,
we've been talking about cave diving as well. You've given lots of presentations and written a lot of articles and books on cave diving as well. Have you had a lot of close calls cave diving, or has it been you've been pretty safe doing that?
Anyone that tells you that their cave diving career has been, or rebreather career for that matter, has been smooth sailing, probably hasn't done much of either. So yeah, I mean, I believe in a way we have to embrace fear and stretch our horizons if we want to do new and exciting things. And so sometimes that's really pushing the edge of the envelope. I think, the closest I ever came to dying was probably inside an iceberg in Antarctica.
Wow.
Cave diving inside this iceberg. Wes was on that project with me and Paul Heinerth, and we were trapped inside from this horrendous current that was completely unexpected and picked up during the dive. And, who could have predicted that? But it sure did yield one of the most exciting projects of my life. Exciting because I can talk to you about it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Antarctica is definitely on our list of places to go and experience. We would love to get up there. Ice diving here in Michigan, we would just love to get out there and dive with the icebergs and all the critters and stuff that are around there. But you were actually diving inside of the icebergs and into the caves inside the icebergs?
Yeah, we went down to intercept the largest iceberg in recorded history, this iceberg called B-15. And it had just calved off of the Ross Ice Shelf, and it was about the size of Connecticut, so the largest moving object on the planet. And we told National Geographic that we were going to go down there, intercept the berg, climb it, get on top of it, and ice dive inside of these caves. And they said, there are caves inside of these icebergs? And Wes said, hell yeah. And we really honestly had no clue when we were going down there.
Nice.
Assumed we would find them, and indeed we did. Yeah.
Now, you've also worked on several major motion pictures, including The Cave, which I think you worked on some of the training for some of the actors and stuff.
Yeah, I had kind of a weird job. I was the underwater unit coordinator, and that involved everything from helping to build the rebreathers, the Megalodon rebreathers for the project, training the stunt divers, the actors, directing some of the sort of stunts and scenes in our unit, and helping to write and advise on the script. So a lot of really interesting stuff. It was about an 8-month job for me. A lot of fun.
How did the actors take to diving?
Some better than others.
Just like in real life training, yeah.
Morris Chestnut, who is he's done a lot of different stuff in Hollywood, and a pretty popular actor. He said to me, "Jill, my people, we don't do water." He says, "I just want you to know I'm not going to get wet in this film." And I said, "Morris, you have major stunts in this film." He said, "Don't worry, we'll get around it." So I ended up doubling for Morris, which is a bit of a challenge considering he's black, and you can hide a lot under a set of dive gear. Yeah.
Now you've also worked on Sanctum, which is coming out February 4th. What was your role in helping out with that film?
Actually, I had a very, very small role. Originally, we shot the pitch trailer for Sanctum here in Florida. So James Cameron came here and wanted to learn a little bit more about cave diving and look at the possibility of shooting a 3D movie in a cave. So he came out, and I took him on his first cave dives, which was a lot of. And then we shot this pitch trailer where literally he said, "I don't know what's going to look cool. You show me some neat stuff, and we'll see how it looks in 3D. And this is what's going to help us get the money for the film." So I did a bunch of different stunts, including one where I push a set of doubles through a restriction, and it careens off the edge of this little cliff and rips the hose out of my mouth. And I race to the ceiling and start drinking the air off the ceiling of the cave. And after that, he was like, "Wow, that looks so cool. How did you ever learn to do that?" And I told him, "Well, this was the first time." So I understand it's ended up as a big part of the film, so I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, excellent. And that is coming out, I think, nationwide on February 4th. So
yes.
We'll all be out. All of us divers will be out and checking that out and supporting.
Yeah, I got an invite to the Hollywood premiere, but I don't think I could justify a plane ticket to go see the movie.
Right,
So
yeah. But,
we'll have a little premiere here in Florida a couple days before the official opening, and I'll be at that.
That's great. And that was actually loosely based on some diving that Wes had actually done as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a project he did in Australia. And Andrew White, who is the sort of the guy who conceived of the film and produced it in Australia, the two of them were on a project in the Nullarbor Plain. And while they were inside a cave in the middle of the desert, a freak, strange storm came up and absolutely dumped a deluge of water in this enormous opening. And there were mudslides and cascades, and it trapped 13 people underground and became worldwide news as they were stuck. So they had an opportunity to decide how to get out. In the case of the real expedition, they actually dug their way out through the rubble pile. In the film, I think the premise is that the only way out is deeper. So we'll see how that
opposite, but that's cool. And that is absolutely incredible. Jill, I want to thank you very, very much for joining us on the show today. You can find Jill at intotheplanet.com as well as rebreatherpro.com. And if you're interested in any of her DVDs or her books, you can go to jillsdiveshop.com. Did I get that all right for you, Jill?
Yeah, you sure did. Cool. Thanks for the great work, you guys. Keep it up, eh?
Yes, thank you very much, Jill, and we hope to talk to you soon.
All right, take care.
All right, thanks.